Anytime you're ripping on a radial arm saw, you always want to make sure that you take that blade guard and you rotate it so that it's down and against your workpiece. And you also need the kickback fingers that are down and set properly so that they're set just below the surface of your workpiece. Now, if you've never ripped on a radial arm saw before, I highly suggest that you read up on it or get the Mr. Sawdust book and read through that, and just to make sure that you're operating it safely, because it is easy to hurt yourself very badly if you don't do it correctly. For this dust collection box, I'm using 3/4 inch MDF for the bottom and the sides, and for the top I'm using a 1/4 inch MDF, and I didn't have a piece that was large enough to do the full top, so I'm going to be using 2 pieces that I later glued together. I didn't want this box to be a permanent fixture to the saw, so I wanted to be able to just slide it in when I want to use it and then slide it out when I don't. So if I ever want to change the fence or change to different setups or to different blades, I can easily do that and just remove it by sliding it out. I decided that with this particular box, I'm just going to be doing standard cross cuts and 45-degree cuts. So anytime I want to do some other odd angle, I'll just take the fence out and put a different fence in. So with this fence, I'm going to mark the top of the tabletop so that I know where to drill my holes, which is where the sawdust is going to be pulled through. And then I'm also going to cut some slots that also will assist in sucking that sawdust through into the box. I forgot exactly what size holes I drilled, but I drilled 1 hole per inch with 1 hole centered on the kerf line for a standard crosscut. So I needed some supports to help support the top of the box, and so I found these 3/4 inch strips of MDF that had these grooves already cut into them. And I figured the grooves couldn't hurt to have in there since it would only help direct the airflow in a particular direction. So I went ahead and tried to strategically place them where I thought it would help the airflow, but in reality I don't know if it's really doing much at all. I ended up using brad nails near the rear of the box just to sort of hold things together while the glue set. I didn't use any brad nails near the front of the box where a blade could potentially run into one. I was planning on making some type of flange on the end of the dust collection hose fitting so that it would fit really tight into the box and have a really good seal. But I just ended up wrapping some duct tape around the end and I stuffed it in there, and it seemed to have a really good, nice, tight fit. So I might just leave it that way. So I just got done running a test to see how well this dust collection box works, and I gotta say I'm really impressed. After cutting all these, there's hardly any dust on the table. There's a little bit over here, just a little tiny bit over here, and there's a tiny bit back here, but I think the main reason why there's still dust on the back side is because I didn't cover that dust collection port on the blade guard. And just so you know, this is not my design. I picked this up looking at other dust collection ideas from what other guys were doing online with radial arm saws, and this was one that that seemed to get a lot of attention. So, but in most of those other designs, they have the dust collection box raised above the fence, so it's sucking over the fence as well. Now, I didn't do that in this one. I wanted a little bit of a taller fence, and so what I did is I cut 1/4-inch grooves in here, as well as I forgot what size holes those are, but I drilled some holes about one hole every inch, with one centered on the kerf line, and I expected to get some sawdust back there when cutting stock that was as high as the fence, but I didn't. Like I said, there's just a little bit back there. I was expecting a lot more. I thought most of it would be pulled in when I was cutting stock. This is 3/4 inch here, where those grooves are just above the 3/4 inch stock there. And but I'm still expecting to get a little bit of dust back there if I cut something higher than the fence. So I'm going to cut a 2x4 and see what happens. Well, silly me, I thought I was going to be able to cut a 2x4 like that vertically, but I can't because I'm using an 8-inch blade and it doesn't have that depth of cut. And it's generally not a good idea to cut something that high above your fence. So, but I'm never going to cut anything that high anyways, at least not in the near future, and if I do, I'll just pull this fence out, put a different fence in, maybe I'll even build a different dust collection box for it. But for the majority of the stuff that I do, this fence is plenty high and it's going to take care of all the dust for me. So hope you guys enjoyed this, and if you're looking for a dust collection box for your radial arm saw, I would highly recommend doing something along these lines. It works great. Oh, and I almost forgot. Stay tuned for my next video where I'm going to use this to make a workbench that's going to go here and a workbench that's going to go over there. And I think it's going to be kind of cool because it's going to be a bench that's the same height as the table, and then there's going to be another assembly table that rolls out from underneath if everything goes according to plan. So see you next time.